Hey everybody, welcome to Infinity Evolve Skyblock. I'm Exonerated, got the face cam up today because the hair is brushed and I'm feeling alright. Well, I was. So I took a break and went through and relocated some of my crops. I don't know if you can tell this, the frame drop is substantial with these AgroCraft sprinklers, but they do such an amazing job, it's kind of hard not to have them. So I went through and relocated my crops to an outer island that I made, and I've done it with a couple of them. Of course, this is the stuff for the beef Wellington, and we're cruising right along here on the beef Wellington, although the soybean doesn't seem to be keeping up, and I think it might just be a pressure issue. So I may expand the number of pressers here soon. Maybe I'll double it, and that'll get us caught up, I think. And actually, I'm going to turn this off because these barrels only hold 1920 for stacks, and it's already up to 1800. So I went through, I put my diamonds down here. I pulled the redstone. I mean, I've got 11,000 blocks of redstone. I don't need it. I also didn't need the gold, but I needed emeralds. So I crafted up some 10-10-10 emerald seeds, and I've got these guys going. And then I've expanded it. I've got a couple of I guess, pods over here for some more crops that I can do. And I'm going to make this an even 3x3 chunk section. Now, you can see my island over there, but it's really out of render distance except for what I have set up. It's not made for... what's the word? It's actually out of loaded distance. That's just a visual anyway. So I built this guy basically so that it wouldn't render, and so I wouldn't have to lose any frames from it at all. And then I started working on some IC2 automation. And yeah, that's what happened. That right there. The reactor, I went to expand it and add some more plates. And when I did that, the temperature got up before I could get a hold of it, and kaboom. And I plummeted to my death. Thankfully, I went through and put the soulbound on my bag here, so I didn't lose anything in there. I did lose a jetpack that I was wearing, because I was dressed in reactor gear, so I did not have enough time to find the jetpack in my bag and switch it up. A couple of high points to note: neither Tesseract was blown, the energy cell wasn't, and these portable water tanks, resonant, you know what I'm saying? These guys, they did not explode. The other thing is, it got over here. It got a piece of our setup here for Wisp, and that's all I was able to save, which is terrible considering that for all the main ones, the fire, the water, and the earth, and Perdicio, and Ordo, and air, I had 2,000 of them, and so that's a small cry of what was there. That's all I was able to save. The good thing is it did not destroy either of our spawners. It did get our harvester grinder thingy. That's no big deal. But our energy cell there and here is still alive, so is the Tesseract. In fact, it didn't destroy the 2 Tesseracts there. Destroyed our fisher. It caused the dogs to come out. When you ask who let them out, it was the reactor. Woof, 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 woof. Yeah, that was such a bad dad joke. It decimated the mob farm, but you can kind of see the inner workings of it now. I had fans lined up, and I had harvesters, or grinders rather, and it was just kind of doing its thing. I lost a lot of fluid out of the pipes, but again, thankfully, did not get the tank itself. It also destroyed my little quartz grinder from Applied Energistics that was sitting right here. Poor little fella, he never stood a chance. Bye-bye handle. We pour that out for our homies. So I had already removed this farming plot anyway. as a point of trying to reduce lag, and I've moved that crop area over there. So this was just a step. This was just a step towards that direction. Sorry, I'm motioning. I've also got Managen going on full bore over here. We've got the plants producing really well. For some reason, this didn't update right away, but I replaced it, and now it does. The other thing I noted was that redstone signal does not carry down in this mod pack on a half block. In other words, if the block isn't full, it won't carry down from another level. It's supposed to, but it won't. Tree farms are going nuts. Don't really need them at this point. The leaves are staying full. It's only there for mana production, and we've got tons of wood. So what I'm going to do is spend the next few minutes cleaning this area up, and then I think we should build a separate island for our nuclear reactor now that we see the scope of just what it can do, because we need production of plutonium and whatnot, and so I want to get that started. And yeah, so we'll be... Hey everybody, we're back, and I've been busy doing the work. So I cleaned up pretty much everything except for the mob farm. I'm going to have to take that down, I think. I really want it down anyway, I believe. I would rather go with a standard version where I could use, what's it called? Cursed Earth. And I don't think I'm terribly far away from fighting the Wither. So this is probably going bye-bye. It's the only reason I left it up is because I was kind of on the fence about it. But I did clear up everything from around this way. And I set up a platform way out here for a nuclear reactor. And I've got it set up with just the 6 chambers. This is going to be a process of what are we talking about? Fuel rods, heat vents, etc., etc. All that stuff's going to be processed, and it's also got to be crafted. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take ender chests, and I'm going to set them up. So we'll have one ender chest on one side of the reactor and one on the other. And we'll have, there we go, one on the other. And so basically what we'll do is we'll feed in fuel rods into the reactor and then feed out the spent fuel rods. And it will work. I've already used a similar system on the one that exploded before it actually exploded. Let's actually go take this off. We'll put it on top. That's not the top. That's still not the top. That's the top. I'm hitting the sides of those color stripes there, I think. So this will be the one that pulls out. This will be the one that loads it. And it'll just be a never-ending cycle. I want to show you what I've got going on from... Oh, and we'll set up a tesseract over here to funnel the power. In fact, this will be our IC2 send power. And hopefully, with all 6 chambers going too, we'll be able to get some solid power coming out of that. I think I had it up to 45 EU a tick before it exploded, which is, it's kind of soft, but who cares? We only had the single chamber. I didn't have 6 chambers on it, so... down below, I have just... Oh man, the crafting. I've gone through and laid out a platform. I've decided... See, when I had built the reactor... Sorry, I always feel like somebody's watching me from the window. When I built the first reactor, I set up all of these machines to automate around the reactor. And obviously, that was a bad idea. So what I've decided to do is more of a remote system. What we've got going on here is I've got crushed uranium ore. This is fed by an ender chest. This ender chest is upstairs on our system here. our storage system, it's just being fed in, and it hits this spot and drops down. Then the crushed uranium, back down. Okay. Crushed uranium goes into an ore washing plant, which I had water already available. The ore washing plant, which is a little slow, creates purified crushed uranium ore, tiny piles of lead, and some stone. I'm not sure if I'm just going to pitch this lead or what. The stone dust, I'm definitely going to avoid it once it gets full. The purified uranium goes into our thermal centrifuge. This guy heats up, and he produces tiny piles of uranium-235, big piles of uranium-238. We pop those two guys into our cyclic assembler, and he will craft this purified or enriched uranium nuclear fuel. That's what he'll do. And so that'll feed over here into this guy. We'll get a barrel going. And I have barrels all along the way for backlog. The purified uranium or the enriched uranium will come into this canning machine. This guy will make it into a fuel rod, and I'll have it feed up into an ender chest that will feed the reactor. And then that'll be good to go. Right here, I've got a metal former set up. This guy I'm going to have dedicated just to supplying cans for. I don't even think they're cans. What are they? Fuel rods, empty fuel rods, and those are real easy. They're just iron plates that are being extruded. So I have a chest here instead of a barrel, because I'm not going to need 64 stacks of these guys. But this way I can kind of throttle it too, so I don't burn through all of my iron. So we'll have a metal former here, and this guy will be fed from our storage system. And we will have and I'll fix the colors on these ender chests. For instance, the red, green one is the one that's being fed from above. And we'll have a different one come through. Then what we'll do is we'll get back our depleted rods, and they'll go into another thermal centrifuge. So let's see. Those guys will feed up there. So that means the spent ones will be. Might as well complete this little arc here we got going on. Well, the spent ones going into that. And then we'll have a thermal centrifuge here. And this guy will convert our thermal centrifuge to plutonium, which we'll have it going like that. And then we'll just have a barrel. Actually, there'll be two barrels. There will be a tiny pile of lead dust, I believe, and then plutonium, and we'll have it feeding into that. So basically, we've just got our whole system kind of laid out in a nice, pretty little arc all the way around. Let's go ahead and craft some stuff up for some power. Catching a little bit of frame lag, and not quite sure what's causing it, but I thought maybe moving the crops away would help, and it hasn't. Let's just grab 12 of these guys, and we'll grab some clay. 3 is 4, so we need 8. And we'll do it like this. And like so. Oh, I didn't grab enough. That's alright, we'll keep it. And do I have... I do not, so that means I gotta get some MV wire from over here. In fact, I probably had some connectors under there, but oh well. Alright, so we're going to pop you on, and what are we going to do with you? We can't pop you on top. We'll pop you on front also. Back on top, and of course back on top. This guy is going to go on the front so that I can have it feed into the ender chest above. And there we go. We got all the... Okay, we got all those machines going. So this guy right here, not getting power. Are you getting power? We're getting power now? We're getting very little power. Are we filling up at the end? Okay, he's full. Okay, he's full. Okay, now he's full. Whoops. Okay, now we're getting power. That's a little weird. I didn't realize it had that kind of setup. If this doesn't work for us too, I can always pull the... I've got more Tesseracts in a chest up there. I can always pull one of them and wire something underneath. Alright, so we can see we've got our enriched uranium. We want to make sure we lock that barrel so it can do its thing. And then we're going to turn that guy off, and our enriched uranium is going to go in here. And let's go ahead and set up our canning process. We need to be able to create cans. This guy needs to be on extrude, right? It is extrude, isn't it? It is. Okay. Oh, we got red, green for that guy. What do we have? Okay, red, green for him. I think the other one is red, green. So we're going to do red, green, red. I'm trying to use just these two colors so that we don't have to worry about it with other players. We've got a couple of us on the server. So we'll pull out this guy, and we're going to go red, green, red, I believe. Alright, and then do I have any hoppas? Well, why not? We'll save that dye, some of this stuff here. Let's grab 5 iron. Oh, I already had some iron. Alright. Go through and make our hoppa. And iron plates, you can see I got 1,000 in there. Which I'll produce more. I've got this guy over here set up just feeding them, and I put like 12 stacks at the time in there, so that should keep him pretty full. We'll go down and make sure we got the colors right. And red, green, red. Yep, filling up with plates. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn this guy on. We're going to make cans. And make sure it's cans that we make. Yes, we got fuel rods. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and empty our fuel rods. Again, we just want this guy as us. Actually, you know what I want to do? I don't want this guy here. I want something different. Give me that. Okay, cool, I got it. I just want a stack. So I'm going to put this mini chest here. Hopefully this will work. It looks like it. We'll open it up. There we go. And we'll open you up and see if they go inside. They do. Alright, so that means you'll go in there, right? And you're going right over. Woohoo! Okay. Yeah, I don't want it to burn through cans unnecessarily, or these fuel rods rather, unnecessarily. So like in this instance, we don't have fuel. It'll fill up to 64 real quick, and then we'll have 64 as a backup in case we generate more fuel, and then we're done. So that'll actually help us throttle a little bit too. The mini chest is so cute. Oh. And then this guy over here, I think I gotta use red. Oh, not what I wanted to do. I gotta use red for the color choice. Well, I don't gotta, I suppose. Maybe red, white, green for the spent. And what color are we gonna use for the other side of it? I think, well, we have to go red, and maybe red, green, white. I know that's going to get a little confusing, but here we go. All right, we're going to pop him up right. Am I putting this right here? Okay. And let's set this guy up. And we're going to pop our servo in and hope for the best. Yep, there we go. We got our fuel rods. And again, that is red, green, white. Red, green, white. Let's go label those before we forget. All right, fuel cells going in, red, green, and white. Woo, we got over here really fast. All right. Red, whoop. Red, green, and white, and there they are. Awesome. This guy's going to be red. Come on. Red, white, and green. Okay. Enough talking like I'm talking to little kids. So we've got that all set up. That's not too terribly bad. I like this anyway. I can kind of keep an eye on what's going on, what's the deal with the fuel. I don't have to go anywhere near the reactor. I happen to be in the blast range of the reactor when it went off. I didn't actually die from the reactor. I died from the fall. I was wearing my hazmat stuff when I went to mess with the reactor, and so I didn't have a jetpack, didn't have time to find my jetpack in my pack, and so anyway, the only good thing is that I did get soulbound on this pack, so I didn't lose the majority of my tools. I did lose, like, this hammer is new, and I had an electric wrench before I lost it. Speaking of which, I did craft a place to charge that upstairs. So this will be the spent fuel rods. This guy will come into our thermal centrifuge. We'll get our tiny bits of plutonium, I believe. We'll check it out. Depleted uranium, iron dust, and tiny piles of plutonium. I do not get uranium when I put depleted uranium rods in the centrifuge. I know it's listed here, but I don't get them ever. So I think it might have been taken out. It might just be the dust in the tiny pile. But we'll have these guys feed into here, and then maybe we'll compact the plutonium into bigger plutonium. Maybe we'll link this barrel up to some way to cook it off so that the iron is processed. In fact, we can link it to... I went up the elevator. We can link it to our oven over here and have our redstone furnace just cook it for us automatically. You know, we'll put the barrel here that's linked to it and just feed it in and be done. So, yeah, all in all, a productive episode. I was really blown away, pun intended, from the blast. Wow, was just wow. But it's given me a lot of options here. It's given me the ability to rebuild, which is something I really wanted to do anyway. I did take the opportunity to start removing the ink farm. You can see I'm up to 42 stacks on that ink barrel, and I pulled 2 others already. So I don't think I'll ever need ink again, ever. Fact, I think it's feeding down the main line now. Check up. No, we still got a lot. We've got a lot. So yeah, I may even need a 4th barrel. So once that's done feeding in, I'll demolish that as well. And then I can take the opportunity to actually reconstruct things. The only thing I wanted to keep so far, I left the animals. I'm actually about to get rid of them. I think I'm going to net up 2 of each and toss the rest of them. I may set up the cow into a pink slime farm. In fact, I probably will. The chickens, they're fine where they are. They're not going anywhere. And that barrel has a void thing on it, so we don't have to worry about entities. The tree farm here, this guy, did it run out of power again? I feel like it ran out of power again. Periodically, it just decides that it did. Okay, so the power is here. This is a bug. It has to be a bug. I haven't seen it reported, but Tesseract is there. It has power. Both of these tree farms stopped working. but they still have power. That Tesseract is still providing power. If I switch it, maybe we'll see if that does it. Does that do it? No. But replacing it will, and I'm not going to do it while there's a compressed creeper sitting right there. Especially since I don't have any more weapons. The Botania setup's been working great. We got tons of mana. It's a little weird how it locked up. I think because they're locked up, the Munchdu started eating some of it and then weren't able to eat all of it. But I told you about that. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the episode here. Between this time and next, I have a lot of work to do for this reactor. I want to get the plating and the vents and all that done so that the reactor can be stable. Then I want to hook this guy up. I'm not quite sure how I want to hook it up. I don't want to use... I need a way to convert EU to RF. EU... is you. I can use the immersive engineering stuff, but I don't like the throughput on the wires. For instance, the big wire, I think caps out at 1,000 RF per tick. Transfer rate. This guy, we may go that route. This guy might not even use it. So, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for watching.